better prices, better quality. Munna's Kitchen.
What's going on, guys? It's StunnaMunna from Munna In The Kitchen. Tonight we're cooking with Munna. So tonight we're going to be making strip loin steaks, and it's going to be a pesto steak with balsamic tomatoes, and we're going to have some asparagus and some sweet peppers on the side as a side veg. So what I got here, I got some cherry tomatoes here, I got some peppers here, I got some asparagus here, I got my strip loin, I got my mixing bowl for seasoning the strip loin, and we're going to get started. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my veggie knife. See, I got my gloves on, being sanitary, we're being clean. I'm going to go on the board, and I'm going to cut the roots off my asparagus, just at the bottom, just so that you get the good parts of the asparagus when you cook it down. I'm going to grab my sweet peppers, and I'm going to cut them in half. I'm not going to dice them up, I'm just going to give them a nice half cut. And I'm going to make sure that there's a little bit of char on the top side for presentation purposes. Cut that right through the middle. And also the sweet peppers, they're all different colors. When you put it together with the veg and the asparagus, it's going to give it a nice color and give a nice color to the plate. So that's how it's going to look like that before it goes in the pan. I have my cherry tomatoes, but that's going to go and get cooked down into the balsamic. Alright, now we got a different pair of gloves on to handle the meat so that we're not cross-contaminating. You never want to leave your meat out too long. This I just put on the table. If you leave it out too long, you're in the food danger zone. You don't want to have meat out on the table for longer than 30 minutes. I want to say even less than that, because then you're in the food danger zone. We got our strip loin steaks here. I'm going to throw the strip in here. I'm going to add a little bit of oil. And in here, I've got a little all-purpose spice that I kind of just made up. A lot of times when I make steaks, obviously it's going to be panning spice on it or steak spice. But this is just because I'm searing it and I'm not grilling it. I just have an all-purpose spice, which is garlic salt, cayenne, and a little bit of paprika. And I kind of just put that on almost everything I make, but it's going to give the steak a different type of flavor than if you were to cook it on the grill and have the steak spice on it and char it. You're going to see how it turns out. So I got my steak, it's in here, it's all seasoned. Now we all ready to hop to the kitchen and throw these bad boys inside the frying pan.
Got it bumping.
Okay, as we move into the kitchen, right now I have my non-stick pans. I have a non-stick pan for my steak. I have a non-stick pan for my veg. I have a small little mini pan that's going to be cooking down the tomatoes and the balsamic. I've got my stove heat is a little bit over medium. On both sides, a little bit over medium. Once you're in there, I got olive oil in the pan with the veggies, and I got canola oil in the pan that the steak's going to be going in. I got my tomatoes, I got my side veg. I got 2/3 of a cup of balsamic vinaigrette that I'm going to be cooking down the tomatoes in. I got some red wine. Cheers. So I'm going to throw my asparagus in. Those should be cooking up. Just give it a second before I put my peppers in. Let those cook out for a bit. I'll throw some spice in there after. I got my first steak. Second steak right in. Just give it a nice sear. As you can see, I turned up the stove a little bit just to give it a little bit more juice. But as it comes down to the end, I'll turn it down to make sure that it gets a nice sear on both sides. People seem to get this idea that when you're making steak in a pan that you need to keep flipping it. No, you're gonna fuck up the steak. Don't keep flipping your steak. When you're making a steak in a pan, let it cook all the way on one side, then do the flip, let it cook the other way, or else you're gonna have your steak all different types of temperatures. Rare steak, if you guys don't know, mid-rare steak goes at 130, 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So anything over that is gonna be overcooked, anything under that is undercooked. I have my temp stick, I'm gonna make sure I temp it to make sure that it's on point. It usually is on point though. Come on man, this is StunnaMunna, don't be ridiculous.
Got it bumping.
Yo, what do your tattoos mean, bro?
I got a whole bunch of tattoos. One of my most recent ones, Pesto. I mean, a lot of things going on in life. Just try to remind myself that, you know, we're all just living. This is all just part of the journey, fam. It's all just part of the journey. Got the asparagus cooking down over here. Sometimes I put minced garlic. Sometimes squeeze out a lemon and throw some lemon juice in there. But we're doing steak today, so I'm just gonna keep it simple. Just a little salt, little pepper, no problem. And now these steaks look like they're trying to creeping up, getting in the way. So now I'm gonna do my flip. So I have a nice sear at the top. Nice sear at the top. You can see the cap starting to get dark. When I cook it on the other side, you'll see how it balances out. Not bad at all. So I've got my little pan at the back, it's heated up now. And I have my balsamic vinaigrette. I'm just gonna throw it in the pan. Just let this heat up. Then I'm gonna cook down in that. And I've got my cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes here. I'm just gonna let these sit inside the balsamic vinaigrette. You want to cook those down until they start to burst. And that's how you know the actual balsamic is actually inside the tomatoes. So now I'm going to throw my peppers in and cook them face up first. So these are sweet peppers. It's not going to add too much spice. There's no real flair to the peppers. It's kind of just for a little bit of color on the plate. You know what I mean? The most important thing before you get in the kitchen is learning safety and sanitation. Knowing, like, you know what I mean? Knowing how to operate and move in the kitchen so that you won't hurt yourself or anybody around you. I feel like that's the most important thing. People who don't know that come into the industry and actually end up getting hurt. People or hurting people around them, you know what I mean?
What are some of the worst injuries you've heard of or seen?
One of the worst injuries I've seen is I was working at maybe years and years and years ago, and a fryer cook threw a lighter down the line and it bounced off someone's shoulder and went into the deep fryer. The deep fryer exploded and it basically melted this guy's face off. Like I said, guys, learn your health and safety first. Go to the seminars. Don't sleep. We're looking good. That's almost medium rare. I feel like people should not be eating steak well done. This is my personal opinion. If you're gonna order a well-done steak, I feel like you should have chicken. You see what I'm saying? There's no point in eating a well-done steak. Part of the beauty of the steak is enjoying the blood in the steak. See what I'm saying? Even if you're gonna go mid-well because you don't like too much blood, don't have it well done because you're not gonna be able to enjoy it properly. When I get steak, I usually get it mid-rare, usually a little bit closer to medium, but even a medium is fine for me. You know what I mean? Because then you can at least feel the texture of the steak. You know what I mean? Go through all the flavors. I feel like when you get well done steak, I feel like you're just not having that full experience. Veggies are looking wet, coming off charred. Those tomatoes are really close.
Dope.
So I'm gonna do a temp check real quick. Take out my temp stick. I checked it before. Grab this steak. So right now, we're pushing to 120. Remember, we're trying to get to 135. So this is going to take a couple more minutes. You see these cherry tomatoes are starting to bust open. The balsamic's getting in them. These fucking cherry tomatoes are good. So this steak is medium rare now. I know because I can touch it and feel it. And what's something I learned in chef school is that you can always tell your steaks, worst comes to worst, don't go to your chef and tell him I told you this, you know what I mean? Because they still want the temperatures, but you can always tell your steaks by the way of your hand. So when your hand is like this and you can feel your palm, I mean, that's a rare steak. And if your palm feels squishy like that, that's a rare steak. If you go 2 fingers, that's a medium rare steak. That's a medium steak, and that's a well. Check your hand and what the texture of your hand is, and if you touch your steak and it's the same texture as that, that's how you know it's close to it. You know what I mean? What it's supposed to be. We're searing steaks today. Usually I cook steaks on a grill, so you'll be able to tell how it looks on the grill by the crosshatch, by the charcoal. There's not any charcoal because we're not using a grill, so I can feel it and tell when it's mid-rare. These are mid-rare right now, so these are that. So on the base of my plate, I'm just gonna put a little bit of basil pesto. I'm gonna give it a swish. I'm gonna grab my hot veggies out of the pan. Once I got my veggies out of the pan, I'm gonna plate them at the corner. For plate, as you can see, my peppers are nice and charred on one side, not overcooked. Charred on one side and cooked on the bottom. Charred on one side. Now I got my mid-rare steak straight out the pan. Usually I am resting my steak. I'm just gonna make sure there's not too much butter on it. The steak is gonna sit right there at the top of the plate. So now that I got my steak sitting up on the plate, I got my cherry tomatoes and balsamic. I'm just gonna let them kind of rest down on the steak. And you can see they're bursted, they're cooked right. And I'm just gonna let the balsamic vinaigrette just kind of drip on the plate a little bit. Drip over the steak, like so. And just lastly, I'm just gonna shave over the plate some manchego cheese. It's 12 months aged cheese. It's not too strong of a flavor. It lingers a little bit, but it's not like a bitter aftertaste like Asiago or something like that. I'm just gonna go straight over the veg with that. Straight over the veg, a little bit over the steak. Yeah, got a pesto steak, balsamic tomatoes. All right, so now we're gonna test the food. I'm gonna taste it. A good chef always tastes his food. So. We're cutting into it. You can see the red in there. It's a mid-rare. I'm gonna cut a little bit more. I get one of the cherry tomatoes, a steak knife. Get some of the pesto, get some of the balsamic, get some of the tomato. It's just like mom used to make it. I'm joking. That's how Munna makes it. You know what it is, Munna in the kitchen, we're going up. We lit. Wow. So yeah, just signing off. You already know, StunnaMunna. You guys keep watching, keep supporting. I'm loving all the love that's coming my way. You can add me on my Snapchat, which is StunnaMan with 2 N's at the end. Add me on Instagram also at StunnaMunna. Catch me on Munna in the Kitchen whenever I do that in the week. Catch me on Edward's Empire whenever I'm in the talk shows. So you guys let me know what you want to see. You know what I mean? We got all types of things going. Let me know. Subscribe, comment, StunnaMunna. Bow, 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 bow.
Better pasta, better prices, better quality.